Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, reaction to Gordon Hayward's gut-wrenching injury against the Cavaliers, plus the latest in the Ezekiel Elliott suspension saga. And do the Rockets prove they're a legitimate threat to the Warriors in the West? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. We have to start, though, with the terrible injury to Gordon Hayward. Just 5 minutes into his first game as a Celtic, Hayward dislocated his left ankle and fractured his tibia when he went up for an alley-oop and crashed to the floor. He was taken off the floor on a stretcher, and ESPN reports Hayward will have surgery today. After the game, LeBron and the Celtics reacted to the injury.
How shocking was it?
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Everybody saw it. Come on, man.
How did you guys regroup and regather yourselves to go do what you had to do?
At the end of the day, I mean, still a game to be played. As that sounds, but still a game to be played. We understand that. We're professionals, so when one of our brothers goes down, we just pick the rest of our guys up.
You hurt for him. He's put in a lot of great work, and I thought he had his most comfortable week as far as feeling like he was going to play really well. And but now we'll, hopefully get a full recovery, right? And so it's it's a tough deal, but I guess that's part of it, the risk of injury. But I really feel for him.
My thoughts and prayers go out to Gordon and his family. Hope for a speedy recovery, healthy recovery. Injuries that, you never see coming, you never want to happen, no matter who it is, no matter what the stature, no matter how much competitive nature that you have. It's just very unfortunate.
Shannon, what are your thoughts on the injury?
It's tough. It's really tough. I feel very comfortable in saying that Gordon Hayward probably put in the most work this offseason because he's going to a new team. He's going with the hopes that he's going to be able to help this team get to Eastern Conference Final, get to the finals, and possibly win. So you knew he was in great shape. You knew he had put extra time in because he wants to make a great showing. And to have it all this season for him come crashing down, 5 minutes into the ball game is very, very unfortunate. And as Kyrie alluded to, there are a game to be played. But Skip, your heart just breaks. Think about how many times Gordon Hayward has gone up for an alley-oop, either dunked the ball, laid it up, grabbed a rebound. Think about how much jumping they do on a nightly basis. And this was one of the most freak accidents that I've seen. Now, Paul George suffered a similar injury leading up to the World Championship. And if you remember, all the guys started pulling out. Kevin Durant, all of a sudden, he wanted to wash his car. He's like, I can't run that risk. They had a game to play. Cleveland had to put that aside. The Celtics, who it happened to one of their teammates, they had to put that aside and go play a basketball game. And they're both to be commended for doing that because the game was a very good game. But Skip, my heart just breaks for this young man because I know when you change teams, having gone through that, you want to make sure you're in your best possible shape. You're ready to go play because you want to make a great impression on your teammates and that fan base. And to have this wiped away 5 minutes into the ball game, I just hope there's no nerve damage. He's done for this year. He might not be the.
Are we sure about? I don't know. We sure?
I mean, he had a fracture and a broken tibia. Skip, he's not.
I mean, he dislocated his ankle, but he fractured his tibia.
Put it like this: Paul George incident happened in July. He came back for like the last week of the season.
Yeah, it just depends if there's nerve damage.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, hopefully, it's not nerve damage, any nerve damage, because that's the thing. When you start going down to lower extremities, that area doesn't get a whole lot of blood circulation to begin with. Talking to somebody that had a lot of ankle problems throughout my career. But I believe if there's no nerve damage, he's probably a year and a half or 2 years away from being the Gordon Hayward that we last saw in the NBA playoffs last year. But he's in for a long road to recovery, but there's no question in my mind he's built of the right stuff to overcome this.
You used the word accident, and that was my first thought. This was a terrible, terrible accident. The alley-oop play that we see, 4 or 5 times a night.
Yes.
It can be the most dangerous play in basketball. Right there with the breakaway dunk that's challenged at the rim where both players go flying into the first row.
Correct.
That can be pretty dangerous. But this one can be even more so because the player trying to convert it is watching the ball.
Right.
And several other players are trying to keep him from the ball. And LeBron made a very good basketball play. He left his man and came across the lane to challenge the alley-oop.
Right.
There was inadvertent contact. Just inadvertent, because bodies are just going to hit.
Right.
My first thought was, I thought they might call a foul on LeBron because he just accidentally, as he's going for the ball, they hit, I don't know if they banged, they just hit bodies. LeBron is a big, strong man. And by sheer accident, Gordon Hayward just lost a little bit of balance and came down incredibly, dangerously, awkwardly, and got his foot caught underneath him. And like you say, we see it all the time. And a lot of times bodies do bang on the alley-oop, and everybody manages to land safely. Not this time.
And we saw this just a week ago. Odell Beckham Jr. ankle happened. It happens the exact same way.
Yep.
Ankle, he comes down, buckles inside, and snap. But I believe Gordon Hayward is made of the right stuff. He will come back. He has a long process. But look, you don't get to the NBA. You don't get to become a professional athlete without overcoming long odds. So I'm not betting against Gordon Hayward. Wish he and his family all the best moving forward, but this is tough. This is tough for the Celtics because they had penciled a guy in that was going to be 20 plus, 6 and 5.
Oh.
And now, not only do you take him out of the lineup, you shorten your bench because now somebody else is going to have to play those minutes, contribute, and that's one less player off the bench.
Their bench was a little short to start with.
Yes.
But we'll get to that later.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's focus on the game last night. As expected, Kyrie was booed in his return to Cleveland, but did give LeBron some dap before the game. With the Cavs trailing late in the fourth quarter, LeBron made a layup to put the Cavs up by 1. On the next possession, he hit Kevin Love for a three-pointer to put the Cavs up 4. Kyrie had a chance to tie it at the buzzer, but came up short with his three-pointer over LeBron. Cavs win 102-99. Shannon, what was your takeaway from the game?
I'm about to be done with LeBron, Skip, because I'm tired of him making me out to be a liar. Now, I sat right here yesterday and told you he was going to have 25, 10, and 8. And then he come out there on that bum ankle and get 29, 16, and 9 with 2 blocks. I say,
wait, how bum was that ankle?
Hold on.
I want to know for sure.
Okay.
Wait, I thought he was on a minutes restriction, and he was supposed to only play 30. He played a game-high 41 minutes? Help me out. You're LeShannon. I don't know.
He called me last night. He's like, Shay, man, if I'd have been healthy, I'd have had 45, 24, and 13.
Yeah.
He said, but I'm only 50% right now. I don't have the
He
cardio.
can only play 41 minutes.
I don't have the
I
don't have the cardiovascular that I need.
He said after the game he just when he gets in shape, he's going to be 48 minutes a night.
No, but I told you see that stat line. Now, we haven't seen a stat line like this in the regular season since 2007. Vince Carter did it. Now, we have seen a stat line like this in the playoffs, but he did it when he had 40, 18, and 7 against Indiana in the play. But I don't even want to talk about that because we already know what he like. It's going to take the Cavaliers a while to get adjusted. They're a different team. They used to get up a lot of threes. They used to make a lot of threes. They don't have really three-point shooters in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Jay Crowder can spot up and hit a 3 here or there. Kevin Love's in a new position, playing 5. I don't know if I really want my 5 guy, taking 5, 6 threes a night, but that might be the role that Kevin Durant eventually evolves into. They were a little sloppy because they allowed the Celtics to stay in this ball game. They had an 18-point lead, but then you turned the ball over 8 times in the third quarter, and instead of being blown away and LeBron only plays like 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, now you got to have him play the entire 12 minutes of the ball game. I think now we can put this to bed, that LeBron James is clutch. LeBron James never needed a closer because he did it. 13 points in the fourth quarter.
This one game, that ends the debate.
Skip, I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk.
Interesting.
I just want my little moment. This me and Bron moment. Bron says, hey, Shay, I know you got me. 13 points in the fourth quarter. 13, Skip Bayless, 6 rebounds, and an assist. But you like to say, stat, I don't know what they called it. The last.
Late and close.
No.
Clutch time.
No, last 5 minutes of the ball game. Like last 5 minutes, you love that because you used to allude to that all the time with Tim Tebow. Last 5 minutes of the ball game.
That's QBR. Or that's called football.
I'm just saying, but you alluded to it. 5 minutes. That's
He had the best QBR in all the NFL in the last.
Well, LeBron James had 9 points in the last 5 minutes.
He did.
And can I ask you a question? What was the difference between the pass that he made last night to Kevin Love and the one he made to Kyle Korver in the corner? The only difference he made.
Huge difference.
No,
huge difference. Thank you for bringing that up.
Of course, I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, you just stepped in it.
No, I did not. No.
Trap. The trap
No.
runs your ankle?
No. No. You see, what I like about LeBron is that when you make the right play, it's never the wrong decision. You never base whether or not you did the wrong thing by the end result.
So in game 3,
yes.
Again, LeBron had a 4-point lead in his house with the ball in his
No,
hands.
we're not talking skip. We're not, no.
You brought it up. I'm going to finish it.
No, I said the pass.
Tell me when it's my turn.
Okay, I will tell you. I said
you
what?
better keep talking because you're going to get hurt.
I'm asking you. Now, you say, okay, last 5 minutes. They were down. He scored 9 points. I ask a simple, specific question.
I got it. What was the difference between that pass and the one in game 3?
So I don't want to hear about the 4-point lead. I just want to talk about that specific play.
We're going to put it right back in context. They're up 4 in his house with 1:30 left in the game, and he is the quote-unquote best player on the planet, says Shannon Sharpe. And he drives a single defender, Andre Iguodala, into the lane and has an advantage on him where, at the very least, he's going to get to the foul line on Andre Iguodala. You got him. You can just attack the rim. And at the last second, he says, I don't know if I want to go shoot those free throws right now. And he whips it to the far corner to Kyle Korver, who predictably misses the shot of the game. In this game, this is a double team out on the wing in which LeBron did make the right basketball play, and he's 6'9", he can see over the defense. I've told you he's the best passer in basketball, and he didn't make the right play. He just made the obvious play, which is to throw it over the top of the defense to a wide open Kevin Love in the far corner. He's not passing out of the lane. He's passing cross court, as they call it, a skip pass.
The man had 1 foot in the lane. He had 1 foot in the lane. Was Kyle Korver not wide open in the left corner?
Yeah, but you're wide open against Andre Iguodala. Who's got the better shot? What's on a degree of difficulty? What's the easier shot there? It's LeBron against Iguodala from 5 feet.
I would take Kyle
5 feet.
I would take Kyle Korver shooting that uncontested three against Kevin Love shooting that three.
And Kyle Korver has how many rings now? Help me out. He's made how many big shots in his life on that stage?
And how many has Kevin?
And
how many Kevin Love has made
Lord
in the playoffs?
have mercy.
How many big shots for Kevin Love in the playoffs, Skip?
Well, he's at least been in a whole lot of big games, and he has made a lot of big shots in the playoffs.
Skip.
Well, he has.
Skip, in the finals, Kevin Love has not come up big.
Well, this was not the finals. This was the first of 82 games. And Kevin Love made the shot of the night. That was a big shot, man. That turned the tide.
If you make the right play, it's never the wrong decision. The outcome is a make or miss league. Kevin Love made it, or Kyle Korver missed it. But that doesn't mean LeBron James made the wrong decision because the outcome did not go in their favor. You live with every decision. I made the right play. It didn't end like we wanted it to, but I can live with those results.
So back to what happened last night. Predictably, after the terrible, terrible accident to Gordon Hayward, and by the way, the Celtics were up 12-9 at that point and had showed a little more energy. They came out flying against the Cavaliers. I thought they were going to take it to the Cavaliers, and predictably after that, they looked like the Walking Dead for the rest of the first half, as they should have. And it was, at halftime? It was 54-38 at halftime. And guess what? LeBron and company took their foot off the gas because they thought Boston had virtually just quit for that night, right?
Yes.
And 33-18 happened in the third quarter, to your point. Now we come to the fourth quarter. And to your point, I told you off the top of the show, LeBron was really good down the stretch. He closed better than his ex-closer closed for his new team. He out-closed Kyrie down the stretch because he did make, with 1:19 left, he drove it in the lane, which he is unstoppable doing, but he stopped flat-footed and let two defenders do their cartoon jump across, right? And then he just wheeled and laid it in. That's beautiful, because that's what he does best. Then he makes the pass. Then he also he went down and created, on the rookie Jason Tatum, he created a turnover in the corner. It was a big-time defensive play. So I'm going to give you all that. But then you come back down, and this is my pet peeve, and I'm going to bring it up because I was going to give him an A+, but I'm going to give him an A for the last minute 19 of the game because with 9 seconds left, LeBron had a chance to ice it and end the game. They're up 3. He's got the ball in his hands. And what did he do or not do, Shannon Sharpe? You have to attack the basket. Just drive it in the lane and get fouled. He's going to get fouled. You got to go to the free throw line. All you have to do is make one free throw and the game's over. Am I right?
Yeah, it should have been a 2-possession game anyway.
Okay.
Iman Shumpert fouled a guy out of bounds. Why would he do that?
And Kyrie made that free throw.
Yeah.
So my point is, LeBron can end it, but what does LeBron have to do? He backs up and dribbles, and he backs up and dribbles, and he takes another 3. He was 1 for 5 for the night from 3.
Yeah,
He's not a very good three-point shooter. And he predictably missed the one that could have ended the game and reopened the door for the Celtics to go the other
They
way.
knew they couldn't do it.
Oh, well, he knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell
Well,
you,
he's lucky the ball didn't bounce to Kyrie first, where Kyrie got an open three-point on the break, because it was Jaylen Brown who shot the 3, and he was 2 for 9 from 3 and missed that one.
I'm sending out a memo to all NBA players. If you get the ball a breakaway, and if LeBron James is on the court, pull the ball out, because he going to block the shot. Now, y'all need to stop trying it.
Well,
On the breakaway layup, you saw it.
okay, but I'm saying, Jaylen Brown had a wide open breakaway 3 to send the
There's
game
a
to
reason
overtime.
why we left him wide open.
Oh,
Hold on. Can we talk about those 4 for 4 that LeBron went last night free throw line?
Yeah, he did. He made 4 for 4. That's
So-
not. He should have shot 12 free
No, he
throws,
shot
but
it-
he shot 4.
Have you
Really?
ever? All he did was just confirm. He says, all you guys that talk about the Finals MVP and all
So
that
are
stuff.
you predicting that LeBron's going to be a 90% free throw shooter this
I'm
year?
predicting that he will win the MVP.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bet you 5 cases of Diet Mountain Dew right here, right now, that LeBron does not top 80% from the free throw line.
No.
Want to bet?
No.
He's the best player on the planet.
What they got to do with it?
How can you win MVP if you don't at least make
Easy.
80%?
Will Chamberlain won MVP and didn't shoot 80%.
But he was 7 feet 1
Okay,
inches
Bill
tall.
Russell.
He was unstoppable.
Oh, Shaq won the MVP
He
and didn't.
was 7 feet 2 inches tall.
Okay, what about Shaq?
I just said
Okay.
Shaq.
So-
he was the greatest offensive force I've ever seen.
Well, Tom Brady won the MVP and he only scrambled for 30 yards. So what did that got to do with it?
I know,
He
but-
did other things exceptional.
I know, but the other team doesn't let you scramble for 30 yards. It's called a free throw. They send you to the free throw line and nobody guards you.
Okay,
You
tell
get to shoot
me
15 feet.
tell me the guy that finished 100%.
Well, obviously you
Okay,
want to make
then.
90%.
Okay.
Like
So
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Steve Nash.
Mark Price missed free throws.
I know, but
Steve Nash missed free
they're
throws.
90% free throw shooters. LeBron shot 76% last year. That's
No, he shot
pathetic.
67.
I mean, 67%. That's pathetic for a guy of his talent.
But he averaged.
You got to
20
be better.
You
than
know
that.
what, Skip? See, this is what you do. See, look, Skip. Nicole Murphy eating cookies in the bed. I'm not saying get out of here. I'm done with you. You accept that. You accept
Really?
this. This man 26. Yeah.
She does not eat cookies.
I don't care what. She can eat pizza.
Huh?
She can eat ice cream.
Well, she doesn't.
I mean, I'm a.
What do you call her? Quarters.
Yeah,
Why
Skip.
do you call her quarters?
I ain't telling you no
Yeah.
more, Skip. Because here's the thing. I say, let's go get some ice cream. She said, Shannon, you don't even like ice cream. I say, I know. I just want to take you to get ice cream so other people can watch you eat it. I just want to look at them while they're looking at you, how good you look eating ice cream.
Wait, did you
Is
say
that
this?
the comparison to LeBron shooting free throws?
I don't know how we got there, but
Yeah,
that's
where'd that
true.
go?
That's the comparison.
Yeah. I
Wait,
just.
were you saying that's what you did say to her?
No,
last
I
night?
say that's what I would
Oh,
say.
you would say.
Yeah,
I thought you
if
did
I
say it.
could and I had a chance to.
Are you
no.
sure you didn't just dream that?
I be dreaming about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But here's my point is that you try to knock LeBron for shooting 67%
Yeah.
when he averaged 26, 8, and 8. And I alluded to Miss Murphy. My name is Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Murphy, yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon
But I was just saying,
Yeah.
there are some things, Skip, let me ask you a question. If somebody gave you, let's say, a 1962 Ferrari GTO, and it had a dent, a little ding, quarter-sized ding in the door, are you going to say, nah, I don't want that car? I don't want no 1962 GTO Ferrari. No, it got a ding in the door.
I thought only it's Pontiac GTO. I don't know Ferraris. I only know American cars.
Okay, but anyway, it's top of the line. It's very good, Miko. But anyway, even if something has flaws,
Yeah.
when you look at the other side of it, like, okay, he averaged 26, 8, and 8. Am I really going to nitpick about this?
Well, that's not a nitpick. You reopened the door for them to send you to overtime.
Did they come in the house?
You could have closed it. It could have been over.
Did they come in the house?
Huh?
Did they come in the house?
Well, because a 20-year-old shot.
Kyrie had a chance at it. The
You know what?
closer.
He did, and it was fateful. The ball bounded out to Kyrie, but guess who was all over him?
Yeah!
6'9" was all over him.
Big bro.
Boo.
Big bro.
Whoa.
Hey,
He
the
made
kid.
it double clutch.
Hey, you see,
shooting over here.
The kid.
Hey, it hit nothing but net, unfortunately.
The
it didn't
bottom
hit
of the
rim.
the
Right?
bottom of
Bottom
the
of the net,
Nothing
not
but
from
net,
the
not
top
from
of
the
the
top.
net.
But at first, I thought the ball went in. At
I
first.
did too. First.
I was like, hold on, LeBron, why you dabbing him up and he just hit the shot to send it into overtime? And then I realized that, nah. I mean, you see Bron, he didn't even want to acknowledge Bron.
Yeah. You know what, though? LeBron's handshake routines with every teammate, it's the coolest thing in sports to me. Seriously. I don't know how they do it. How much time do they have to spend on creating and
I
practicing?
mean, how many times? I mean, consider he
Did you ever do that when you were a player?
No, consider he didn't practice much and he came out with 29, 16, and 9.
I
so
think he was
clearly,
just practicing the handshake routine.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, seriously, it's cool.
Didn't Todd Gurley tell you about being disrespectful to me?
No.
Did you see Todd Gurley's tweet last night?
No.
He said, Skip Bayless, stop being disrespectful like Shannon Sharpe said. That's what Todd Gurley said to you.
I don't know. I don't read Twitter. So
Well, I'm going to send it to you.
No mercy. Gordon Hayward had a terrible injury about 5 minutes into his first game as a Celtic last night. He dislocated his left ankle and fractured his tibia when he went up for an alley-oop and crashed to the floor. He was taken off the floor on a stretcher, and ESPN reports he'll have surgery today. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Good morning.
Welcome.
Uh-oh, 2-on-1.
How does Hayward's injury affect the Eastern Conference?
Well, first, I want to send my prayers out to Gordon and his
Good
family.
for you.
And praying that he recovers not only physically, but mentally, because that was
Rough
a
one.
devastating injury.
Yep.
But look, Cleveland was a lock before this happened. Now, I mean, they're a vice lock. What do you want to call it? You know,
They're a vice lock.
basically Boston is back to what it was last year, in my opinion.
Right.
They've got one star. He's tremendous, but he's a point guard, and he's not as good as LeBron James. And you're not beating Cleveland like that. I like Jaylen Brown.
You know what? Jaylen Brown, he didn't shoot it all that well last night, but he was
very
pretty good.
He was.
I think he's got the potential to be one of the best two-way players in the league.
That's why
defensively.
That's why they were so hesitant to give him up.
And
Yeah,
Because a lot-
you see why.
he took on LeBron some. I told you yesterday he would try.
He tried.
And he weighs 225, like at 6'7", and he's only 20 years of age. But go ahead.
Yeah, the athleticism is there. And they've got heart. I mean, they showed that last night. Brad Stevens' coach team is going to play with heart. But the East is back. Like I said, it's back to what it was last year. 4 of the best 5 teams in the league are in the West.
Yes.
I could argue 5. If Minnesota plays as well as they can, their potential, they could probably be the 5th team better than anybody else in the East. Cleveland has the benefit now of taking the 82 games and honing their system, whatever they feel they need to do to beat Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about them last night, they didn't look great. You know, this shouldn't be a close
absolutely
game.
not.
But I love the fact that LeBron played within the system. He didn't dominate the ball. He wasn't the system like he has been virtually his entire career. He played within the system. And because they have so much talent, they can do that now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way they can beat Golden State. They can't beat them with him
He took the most
dominating
shots. He took 19, but he didn't take 30 shots.
yeah,
Okay.
and it wasn't even like just the over dribbling. He didn't over dribble.
I agree.
He didn't touch it necessarily on every possession. He was moving without the ball. That's the way they have to play. And they've got the luxury of, even when they lose games, even when there's warts, when guys don't play well, they can work out all their chemistry issues, their rotation, and that's a big benefit for them.
I mean, he called me last night like, Shay, I'm 50%.
Wait, you're talking about LeBron.
LeBron called and said, I'm 50%. He said, I ain't in no type of shape.
Was that just a miracle last night?
Yeah.
On a bum ankle, he played 41 minutes with a restriction of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
And Chris, here's
What happened to the restriction? How about that?
I mean, we called for desperate times.
He's going to probably average 38 minutes a game again.
Hold on. Do you actually,
I hope not,
Well, he
but
led
probably.
the league last year.
do you think we're going to let Kyrie come back in here and steal my shine? I'm still the best player. Y'all must have forgot. Oh, all this closing. He like, Skip Bayless, I hear everything. I don't watch, but people tell me what you be saying.
Yeah,
We hadn't seen a stat line like this in the regular season since 2007. And the guy that did it, he wasn't in year 15, coming off the most minutes of.
What do you mean with the 16 rebounds?
No, we haven't seen a stat line like what LeBron James posted last night since 2007.
Okay, what
Vince
is
Carter.
it? Help me out.
16 boards.
16 boards.
Because what? To get the high rebounds?
High point total,
Well, he had
rebounds.
29, but he didn't have 50. Is that what?
How many blocks did he have?
2. I done told people, when y'all get the ball and LeBron's on the court, pull the ball out and let your offense set up. Because if you try to lay it up or dunk it, something bad gonna happen to you. Now, I told y'all to stop trying this man. Ask Andre Iguodala.
And by the way, Dwayne Wade didn't score much last night, but he had 2 fourth-quarter blocks that I thought were pretty impressive.
What about
They're
LeBron?
taking a page out of Golden State's book. You got Kevin Love, who's not a rim protector at center. Dwayne Wade, one of the greatest 2 guards as far as shot blocking ever. He and LeBron will protect the rim. Crowder to a lesser degree.
And LeBron James got an easy 29. I mean,
Easy.
just think if he was in some shape, Skip. I mean, it takes time to, get your condition to run up and down that court. He ain't had no chemistry with his guys. He's been over there chilling.
Chilling. He looked sensational.
They should be able to run.
No,
They should be able to really
But
push it with all those ball handlers.
One more thing, Skip. They really having to change what they are. They were get up 33s a game, make about 12 to 13 of those a game. They're a different team because there's nobody really in the lineup that really shoot threes. You can't put Kyle Korver because he's a liability. And whomever he's guarding, that's who's getting the ball. But Skip.
He's looking like the odd man out of this rotation.
He got in late. What teams should do, though, back in, give Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose open threes. That's what I would do. Because if you guard them, last night they were guarding them at the 3, they're going to go right by you. They're too quick, even still at this age. But I would back up and force them to shoot threes and then see what happens.
I can't hear you. You're whispering. Just say it on TV. We're on national TV.
LeBron told me don't say it. They don't use everything today. He said, I got plenty of these games in me.
Yeah?
I said, you know?
How long did you talk last night?
We talked about 3 or 4 minutes. He's just like, Shay, your boy Bron gonna be on one this year. They already engraved my name on that MVP trophy. They already put my name on it.
He said that?
All right.
Yeah.
Did you hear what LeBron told Shannon?
Tell me
It's
that
already
that wasn't
engraved?
the easiest 29, 16, and 9 you've ever seen.
Wow.
Because it was in the system.
It
That's why I was so easy. That's why I liked
I
it.
thought Cleveland looked really good, and LeBron looked great last night. I am also not going to write off this Boston team. Not that they're going to threaten Cleveland, but no, I'm not doing that. Well, I didn't do it in the first place.
And be in the hunt.
But listen, Jaylen Brown has a lot of ability.
Oh, yeah.
20. And Jason Tatum, I saw flashes of big-time ability last night, and he's 19. And Marcus Morris is a veteran NBA player with a big NBA body, and he did not play because he's got a knee issue. So if you put him back in with Horford, I like Aaron Baines, a former San Antonio
He played
Spur.
tough last night.
He did. He bangs people around. He knocks people around. They don't have much depth in either the backcourt or the front court, but they
You mean
still
Marcus Morris? You said Marcus Morris. That's who didn't play.
That's
you said
right.
Smart.
I'm Marcus.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marcus
Smart
Morris
helped.
didn't play.
Smart
Smart
played
and played well.
Rozier
But,
was all right.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, but the point is, they have enough of a nucleus.
Yeah.
Some of it young. I'm not going to write them off to be a playoff team.
Oh, no, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They still could be the second best team.
Yeah.
That shows you how
Them
bad
and
these
I think them and Miami
Yep.
will be battling because Miami with
So
Whiteside.
you just put Miami ahead of Washington and Toronto.
What?
Milwaukee.
Ooh,
even.
yeah,
They're all the
I
same.
forgot about Washington.
They're all on the same level.
But you never know. I mean, with Gortat, some games, I know what I'm going to get from Beal. I know what I'm going to get from John Wall.
Yep.
John Wall is a 20-10 guy. Beal is like a 20-5 guy. Okay, what does Gortat do? Because some games he might give you 18 and 14, and then he give you 6 and 6.
Otto Porter, they overpaid him.
So I got to give it up to LeBron. It was just 1 out of 82 games, but he closed that game better than his ex-closer closed for his new team, the Celtics, Kyrie. Because down the stretch, LeBron made 3 big-time basketball plays to me. He made the up and under move where he just stopped flat-footed and let them do their cartoon shot, flying across.
Fly by.
And just laid it in. Then he goes down and creates a turnover in the corner on Jason Tatum. Yeah. And then he came back and made a very good over the top of the defense pass to Kevin Love, who made a big-time shot that he doesn't always make. But those are 3 big-time basketball
What about
plays.
Jaylen Brown tearing the man jersey? Can we get a foul call?
Can we get a better jersey?
Don't worry about
wearing them so tight.
that man.
Yeah.
I mean, the man just built like a
You
brick
just
outhouse.
finding ways to
I would wear it tight too. You don't want to give it.
I mean, the man. I mean, the total man jersey. I mean, the 2 over here, the 3 over there. I was like, is it 2-1-3? I mean, what's going on with the jersey? And they didn't even call
You
a
saw
foul.
him inside more last night, which
I agree.
again, I mean, maybe as he gets older, that's, move to that power forward
Yep.
spot.
But I do have one small quibble because he did it again at the end of the game. He could have just shut it down and turned it off and closed it out. He had the ball in his hands with a 3-point lead. They cannot stop him. He can get to the rim. You know it, and I know it. You just have to go make one free throw and the game's over. And instead, he backs up and dribbles, and he backs up and dribbles. And I knew what was coming. And he's just not a great three-point shooter. He went 1 for 5. He had hit one, and
so he's
to
feeling
Jaylen
good.
Brown, he said, like, come guard me. Well, Jaylen Brown's probably thinking, yeah, you missed. You were 0 for 3 at this point. What am I going to guard you for? But long rebound, and Jaylen Brown gets it going the other way. And all of a sudden, he's shooting a shot to tie the game. And he missed it because he was 2 for 9.
You actually think Jaylen Brown was going to make
Well,
that shot?
I don't know. He'd made 2 out of 8 at that point.
Exactly.
2 out of 9. Way to go.
I mean, if it goes to overtime, now LeBron's going to have a 40-20 ball game. Is that what you want? You want him to have a 40-20-12 game?
And I got to give him this. Long rebound out to Kyrie, and LeBron engulfed Kyrie. He was all of 6'9" on 6'2", and Kyrie had to kind of double clutch it, and he hit nothing but net. Unfortunately,
When he put that up, I heard your voice. Because if he had hit it, I knew, it was going to be
Well,
over.
I'm like Shannon.
In
For a
his face.
second, I thought it swished. For a second.
It was right on target. It was just short.
Can you tell Chris about LeBron's free throws last night? Because Chris, he didn't catch all the game. Can you tell
LeBron made 40 out of 40 free throws last night.
He
It
was
unbelievable.
4 for
I'm
4.
sorry, it was 4 for 4. How does he not
He
get to
added
the free
that
throw
to his
line
game.
more?
Yeah.
He's added that to
And I wanted to bet him 5 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that LeBron will not average hit more than 80% of his free throws this year. Well, that's what he's saying.
He's never hit
can't
80.
bet him that.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
he's never
his career
made
high?
80.
70,
78, like 78%.
He's 78.
Yeah.
What about Kyrie? What about Kyrie? He's gonna see that he has some blessings there in Cleveland.
It's going to be hard.
It's gonna be a lot more difficult.
But I still admire him 'cause he wants to do it. He wants to try.
But see, you're overstating that.
No, I'm not.
And I love Kyrie. He's got heart and all that. But it's not like he chose to stay in the East. Remember, 2 of his 4 teams were San Antonio and
He
Minnesota.
could have gone to Phoenix or something.
He could have ended up in Phoenix, which really wouldn't have been good for him. But he just happened to end up in East in a great situation.
But he's embracing the challenge.
In a real
Now he's
sports
gonna-
city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm from
I actually
C-Town,
don't.
the
I don't
land.
agree with him on that.
don't
Cleveland
get
is
no
a
better.
good sports
Really
city.
is. It is.
They just don't win a bunch. They loyal. They
Yeah,
devour.
they're
They just
loyal.
don't
We
win.
don't win, but we loyal.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Which makes it more impressive.
Chris, thanks for joining us. No mercy. The Warriors got their championship rings and unveiled their new banner last night. They look like the same old Warriors, leading the Rockets by as many as 17. But then Draymond Green left the game in the second half with a knee strain, and Houston came all the way back to take the lead. In the closing seconds, the Warriors had a chance to win the game, but Kevin Durant's game-winning shot was called off because the ball was still in his hand with no time on the clock. Afterwards, Harden and Durant talked about the Rockets' comeback.
I thought I had a chance, but I knew it was a little late. I knew it was cutting it close. But you got to give Sean Livingston credit for keeping the basketball alive and just giving us a chance. But we got to give credit to Houston, man. They came out, they hit big shots in the fourth. They played well tonight. And tough loss. But first game at 82, we got to move on. We definitely have to get better.
We're resilient, man. We don't give up. That's something we've been preaching since the summertime, since we got those new guys, and even in camp and even in preseason. Defensively, if we lock in and pride ourselves on getting stops, offensively we have more than enough weapons to put up 120 points. So that's what we have to do.
Shannon, was Houston's win a big deal or no big deal?
No, because I saw Golden State get blown out on their home court last year by someone else's team. And
By
then
a real team.
and then they would
The
go.
team that would have won the West, except for Zaza Pachulia, who, by the way, I tweeted last night, he deserved 2 rings in their ring ceremony for what he did because he saved the season. Go ahead.
And then I see them go 16-1 in the playoffs, and then I see them win 67 games moving forward. But I think what it did show Houston, you can't beat Golden State doing what they do, which is shooting the basketball. They gave up 71 points in the first half, Skip. They gave up 50 in the second half. So it's saying what it says to me, and probably to them, is that if we're to beat this team, outscoring them is not the way to do it. We're going to have to, lock down defensively. Now, I don't know if I've ever
You
seen.
just said that the Houston Rockets are going to have to lock down defensively.
But they did.
That's like an oxymoron.
I know,
Go ahead.
but they gave up 50 points in the second half as opposed to 71 because they were on pace to get 142, and they ended up getting 121. Now, Chris Paul and James Harden, it's not very often you'll see two guys in a regulation ball game get double-digit assists.
You will not. I agree. That was highly impressive.
Yes, I was very impressed with that. And James Harden can get buckets. Now, we keep talking about how Kyrie is unstoppable, but James Harden, he got handles.
He does.
That step back, he can shoot the three, and he can get to the bucket. I mean, dude, he's unbelievable. And Chris Paul, so they got a nice. I mean, but can you count on PJ Tucker giving you 20 points off the bench? Can you count on Eric Gordon?
Making a big three at the end of the game. PJ Tucker?
They really got him for defensive purposes because
say.
they see all what's going on in the
I
West.
thought Toronto got him to be their LeBron stopper.
Yeah, after LeBron hung 30 plus on. Yeah. I mean, they got 58 points off the bench. Well, Skip, if you're going to get 58 points off the bench, you're going to win a lot of ball games. A lot of ball games.
That's true.
And especially when your bench outscores Golden State's bench, which is their strong suit, you're going to probably win the game. But if you're trying to outscore them, because they got 3-4 of the best shooters maybe of all time on their roster, and you try to outscore them, it's going to be futile. You're going to have to play some defense. This is something, but I'm not making a big deal. Do I think Golden State's not going to win 65, 67 games now? Absolutely, they will win 65, 67 ball games, just like they did last year. But I know you're going to try to play it up. Your Spurs not going to beat them, that's for sure.
My Spurs are going to beat them, but now back to the question. Big deal, no big deal? I think it was a big deal because you saw what happened, as Joy pointed out, as she set up this topic. Draymond Green gone at the end of the third quarter with a knee strain. I don't know what that means. I don't know how bad it will be. Ongoing issue.
Right.
Don't know. But he is the guts and the glue of that team. And all of a sudden, we saw a little microcosm of something that happened back in the 2016 NBA Finals, LeBron James' greatest claim to fame, when, as you recall, at the end of Game 4, Draymond called LeBron a really nasty word. Just called him the B word.
Why did he call him that name, Skip?
Then he went up the other end of the floor and just cheap shot at him with a low blow, right?
Yeah.
And what happened? Suspended for Game 5.
Stop, Skip.
Swung the momentum.
You're not telling the truth. You make it seem like he called him that name first. LeBron did his act first. That's what led him to being called a name.
Okay, so he got suspended. And they were out of it in Game 5, even back in Oakland. And LeBron took over that game and took back over the series.
What about
give him
Game 6
full credit.
when he played?
It was tremendous.
What about Game 7
It was
when he
tremendous, except for the bicycle built for 2 block. Which
No,
he did. You know it. No, I know it. But Kyrie Irving obviously hit the shot that
Skip!
ended it all. He ended it all. But again, way to go, LeBron. Way to go, Cavaliers. But what happened? Draymond wasn't there for the crucial turning point game. It could have been a closeout game, right?
And he was going to have a triple-double last night.
He was going to have a triple-double, and this team was going to win its home opener by 20 points because it was ahead by 13 after 3 quarters.
Yep.
And what happened in the fourth quarter? 34-20 happened. It's no coincidence. There was no Draymond. They miss him.
Yes.
He is a leader of that team. It's like a bizarre sort of thing, but he's their backstop. He's their cornerstone. He's the guy they look to. There's no Draymond there. Can they win a game without? Sure, they can win. But this was a big game against an on-the-rise team that reloaded. And I agree with you. For both those guys to have double digits, 11 and 10 assists, James and Chris, that was impressive. But something else happened down the stretch the last 4 minutes for the new Houston Rockets. Chris Paul's knee started acting up, and he had to go sit down. And all of a sudden, it clarified a little bit the chemistry, and I think it helped them to close that game.
Right.
And I saw a quote, this is pregame yesterday, from Chris Paul, where he said he's tired of dribbling, and he wants to get out on the wing and shoot it more. Like he dribbled too much as a Clipper, and he didn't like sort of the culture of the team, the mindset. Somewhere Doc Rivers is still laughing over that quote.
Exactly.
Like painfully laughing.
You could have passed. You could have given the ball up.
Doc just pushed and prodded Chris to take some more shots, be more of a two-guard occasionally. You know, get in the flow, because Chris can score, but he couldn't score last night. He was 2 for 9 and wound up with 4 total points. And to your point, when your bench is going to do what that bench, 3 guys come off the bench.
That's the thing, though.
3 guys come off the bench, and P.J. Tucker goes 20, and Eric
6
Gordon
of 9.
24, and Mbamute 14. That's outrageous. That's not going to happen every night.
Think about this. Eric Gordon was 0 for 6 for 3.
Yeah.
So if you factor
And you won.
inside of the 3, he was 9 of 10 from the floor.
That's pretty good.
So
Okay.
how long can you go playing 8 players? You're going to have to get something out of some other people. I'm not counting on P.J. Tucker to give me 20 points a night and go 6 of 9, 4 or 6 from the 3.
Well, I thought one of the most interesting things Magic Johnson said sitting in this seat yesterday on Undisputed was that he likes Oklahoma City more than he likes Houston.
Right.
And I was surprised because the Rockets got a lot of firepower. They got a lot of shooters.
I think Magic is looking at it kind of like a lot of people. How does James Harden and Chris Paul, 2 guys that's been ball dominant over the last 3 years, how do they share this? But for the first game, for one game, looked like it went really, really well outside of Chris Paul not shooting the ball well, but they distributed the basketball. It didn't seem they were in each other's way.
Then it helped maybe. It clarified that Chris had to go sit for the last 4 minutes, and then they closed it out.
And for the most part, these guys are used to playing with each other. I mean, okay, you remove Chris, but Gordon is used to playing. He's used to playing that role in the fourth quarter. So I'm not surprised, but Mbamute and Tucker is really going to help because they got 2 defensive guys, and that's what they need because you're going to have to deal with Paul George and Jimmy Butler and Kevin Durant and Kawhi. So you're going to have to, and Wiggins, so you're going to have to deal with some of these long-rangey 3s and 4s, and this is what they got Mbamute and P.J. Tucker.
But Golden State better hope that Draymond gets healthier.
They'll be just fine. As long as it's nothing sustained, no 30, 40 games, they'll be just fine. They'll handle your team.
He's talking about it like he's going to be okay. Also, Nick Young fitting right in.
Oh, that was impressive.
Who would have thunk it?
Wow. Yeah. I don't think Steve Kerr envisioned him being the leading scorer.
Wait, he made 6 out of 7 threes?
Yeah, he was 5 or 6. I mean, he had 20 in the first half and only took 1 shot in the second half. That's not what Steve Kerr envisioned when he signed Nick Young, you being the leading scorer, especially off the bench.
No, it was a nice little start. No mercy. Here's the latest on Ezekiel Elliott. A New York district judge granted Elliott a temporary restraining order which blocked his current 6-game suspension. Translation, Zeke will be on the field Sunday when the Cowboys face the 49ers, but former Cowboys great Michael Irvin said that if he was in charge in Dallas, he would tell Elliott to just take the 6-game suspension now rather than keep fighting. Joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Welcome, Greg.
Good morning.
First, Shannon, do you agree with Michael Irvin?
Hell no. Especially if I don't feel I've done anything wrong, I ain't taking no punishment. It's easy for someone else to say you should do this when it's not them that's going to be punished.
Well, I thought you said it was inevitable anyway.
I'm gonna fight it to the end. Let it be inevitable.
All right.
I'm gonna die one day. I ain't going to stand in front of no train. It's inevitable. No. It's easy to say, Skip, when you're not the one being punished. It's easy to say when you're not losing financially.
Yep.
No, I'm not accepting this. Especially, Ezekiel Elliott said, I might have done some things in my past I'm not proud of. I didn't do this. So, no, I'm not taking this laying down. I'm going all the way to the end. And if I got to go to the Supreme Court, oh, well, so be it. But, no, I'm not taking it. And I'm very reluctant to tell someone what they should do when it comes in the form of punishment. Because, hold up, you should go sit down for 6 games? What, you don't miss no time Undisputed with Skip? No. If I'm Zeke, I don't feel I've done anything wrong, or I'm fighting this to the end. No,
I'm surprised at your take, but I agree with your take.
No, hell no. I disagree with Mike, and I don't like disagreeing with my, my gold jacket brothers. But Mike, you wrong on this one.
Greatest receiver ever, Michael Irvin.
Stop. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, look, I understand why Michael Irvin is saying that, but I'm with you. Absolutely not. It's like a complete admission of guilt.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. If you know in your heart of hearts, regardless of what is out there, that we do know that he has done. And I don't think anyone up here or even Michael Irvin is admitting or in agreement with or condoning the things that he's done, specifically domestic violence.
Right.
But it hasn't been proven.
Right.
Even in the letter that the league sent to him, it stated that it believed It believed he used physical force against Thompson 3 times. If they knew that believe would not have been in there, it would have been he used physical force. And that's not in there. So for me, if I'm Ezekiel Elliott, which I am not, and I have not done any of the things that he has done, but if I'm in his shoes, there is no way, to your point, there is no way I'm saying, yeah, come and get me. Just let's get it. No, until you make it to where I have to take the 6-game suspension, I'm putting on that helmet and I'm going to be out there every Sunday.
I told you yesterday as we went back and forth about this, if you told me it's just about to be over, am I okay with them without Ezekiel?
Right.
Are they as good without? No, they're not. But they do have 2 pretty good backs that I think they could muddle through with. Wouldn't be as good, but I think they could be good enough to get through the 6 games, which would lead up to the Washington game on a Thursday night at Jerry World.
Right.
Okay, but I'm with you because I'm with Jerry on this issue. Jerry Jones is one hard-headed son of a you-know-what. And his pride is up, his back is up on this one, and you can tell he's going to fight this to the quote-unquote Supreme Court kind of death. And they don't believe this is an Article 46 issue, as we go back and forth, as in we sacrificed all of our rights to Goodell because he's now the judge, jury, and executioner. They believe that's a moot point when it comes to the procedure with which they dealt with Ezekiel Elliott. They think this is an American citizen issue, a workplace rights issue, that he just wasn't given a fair trial within the confines of the Article 46 system, that he didn't get his quote-unquote fair day in court by Roger Goodell. And they have 3 smoking guns because they have 2 police departments that said, we've examined this and we say no charges.
Right.
And then they have Kia Roberts, the director of investigations for Roger Goodell and the NFL, who turned on Roger and asked if she could testify at the appeals hearing for Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
And she testified, I'm the only person who spoke to the accuser, not once, but 6 times. And I don't find her testimony credible enough that there should be any suspension here. That's a big smoking gun, right?
Not for me, Skip, because there are a lot of times with the police, and I think we're looking at this from a standpoint of a normal court proceedings. But let's just say for the sake of argument that it is. The police, a lot of times the DA, they don't interview a suspect. They take the word of the police. Now, they can. The police says, okay, we find nothing. But the DA say, we're going to prosecute this case. What are you supposed to do? Commissioner Goodell now in the letter said he took Kia Roberts' testimony under consideration. But Article 46 says I get to determine whatever I want to. I can review all the facts.
There was the procedure.
Right.
Harold Henderson was presiding, and he would not allow Roger Goodell
to be
or
crossed.
somebody else.
Or the alleged victim to be crossed.
The victim, that's who it was.
Right.
So there was no testimony so that
They couldn't
Zeke's
cross.
lawyers could cross.
Right,
They couldn't cross on either one of them.
But here's the thing. What does Article 46 say? If it says that the victim can be cross-examined or the commissioner can be, now you got something. But if that's not in there, you can't ask for something after the fact you've already negotiated and say, I want to do it now, because the courts are very hesitant to stay out of, because, Skip, they don't want you to come to them because you've signed a bad deal and you want them to get you out of it.
Okay.
So the courts are very hesitant.
Okay, I got it. But they found a sympathetic judge in Texas who basically laughed at the NFL and said, this is ridiculous. I'm granting an injunction. But then they went to New Orleans and said, yeah, but you jumped the gun filing in Texas because the appeals hearing was not finished.
Right.
So that was just about jurisdiction.
Right.
So now it goes back to the NFL's backyard in Manhattan, and the judge in charge who presides is on vacation. So the temporary judge.
They got to stay until the 29th, and then it'll be heard on the 30th.
Okay. So it really hasn't even started yet.
So even going back to Michael Irvin in his statement, my problem with it is he's solely looking at how this impacts their football team.
Yeah.
You know?
He's not looking at how this will impact and what this will staple Ezekiel Elliott as and tag and label him as.
It will.
He's not. This will stay with him.
Yes.
This is not about just football for Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
So why would I? Exactly.
This is a scarlet letter.
Absolutely.
You wear this forever. I don't care what you accomplish. He can break Emmitt's rushing record. This will never go away. And I get it. There are people in one section that says he didn't do it. no matter what happens, they believe he didn't do it. There's another pocket over here that says, I believe he did do it. So even if he doesn't get suspended, I still believe he did it. But if I'm Zeke, man, I ain't.
No.
I'm the one that's going to have to serve. I'm the one that's going to be punished here. It's easy for, oh, man, you should have just go ahead and take that. Just go ahead and tell. No. Why don't you just tell the truth? Like my brother, I set the field on fire. He told me to go tell my grandfather, Skip, somebody. And I did. I said, Papa, somebody set the field on fire. He said, wasn't nobody down there but you two boys. He did it. What I supposed to do? Said I did it and get that beating? No, sir. If I'm Zeke Elliott, I ain't getting nothing up.
But Sterling took it to the Supreme Court, didn't he?
No, he took them licks. That's what he took. I wasn't going to tell him myself.
Well, hey, this is a powerful team of lawyers
Yes.
behind Zeke, and this is a powerful owner with very deep pockets.
Yes.
So it's different than the Brady defense
Right.
team where it was the NFLPA
Right.
funding it. Jerry's funding a lot of this, and if it goes, if he could get it to the Supreme Court, Jerry would get it to the Supreme Court.
My only problem with Jerry, he never said this was unfair when it happened to Tom Brady or some of the other guys. It only became an unfair system when it happened to his
Well, that's
guys.
how most people handle it.
Yeah,
it
he's
affects
staying
you,
in his
it's not
lane.
fair.
Exactly.
No.
It directly impacts and affects Jerry Jones right now.
That ain't what you're doing. You stand against police brutality and all
Yeah,
this other stuff 'cause
absolutely.
it doesn't affect you.
Absolutely, but I'm gonna do more. If it touches my house, if it touches one of my babies or my wife or my kids, you're gonna see a completely different Greg Jennings over here.
But Michael, no. Zeke, you'll be a fool to go sit down with I'm having my day in court. Who knows? Maybe you find another sympathetic judge, Skip.
You might.
But no, agree. Oh, that's basically saying, okay, I did it, so go ahead and give me my punishment so I can
Well,
come
maybe
back.
Michael is looking at it as this
will help the
This will
Cowboys.
help the Cowboys.
Hanging over the team. It's a cloud hanging over Zeke. It's distracting. So maybe just get it out of the way because you're not going to beat the NFL anyway. So it's going to keep dragging on into next year.
This is hurry up, get it out the way so we can have you at the end of the season
Right.
when the
Skip.
games count more.
You wrote all these books about the Cowboys, and all they had was clouds. They had thunder clouds hanging over it.
Well,
Since the 60s.
Exactly. So now all of a sudden they're worried about this cloud.
Yeah, no.
well, this is quite the remarkable cloud. I feel like we're all lawyers now. Do we get honorary law degrees for trying to figure out what's
Play
going
one
on
on
with this?
TV. Perry Mason wasn't no real lawyer.
No mercy. We're about halfway through the college football season, and the one thing we know is that Alabama is very good. The Tide received every first-place vote in the AP and coaches poll this week. We thought Clemson was also a lock for the playoff, but then they lost at Syracuse on Friday. So right now, it's Penn State and Georgia ranked behind Alabama. FS1 college football analyst Joel Klatt with us. Welcome, Joel. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
So what 4 teams would be in your playoff right now?
This is what's such an interesting question because the playoff committee and this playoff in general, they want you to take the 4 best teams overall. And I've got a very specific 4 if we're just talking about 4 best. And it doesn't really matter if they've won or lost, right? That's Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Clemson. Those are the 4 best teams that I've seen play football in college this year. Then
So would
there's
you
the
project
foremost.
them out?
Well, maybe. I think we'll see how that plays out. Then there's the 4 most deserving, and I'm actually more of a deserving camp because I think that we should allow teams to earn something that maybe that their recruiting rankings say that they shouldn't have earned, right? I mean, let's stop rewarding recruiting rankings and let kids just earn it on the field. So if you're talking most deserving, the resumes tell you that Georgia, TCU, Bama, and maybe Miami have the 4 best resumes in all of college football right now. So if I was rewarding that, that's what I'd do. So where do we sit? Somewhere in between. So who's my 4 playoff teams where I sit right now in October? It's Alabama, it's Georgia, it's TCU, and it's Penn State, who's kind of the 5th in both categories. And so they would be there sitting at that 4th spot. Those are my 4 right now.
Well, we're very close. I had Bama, Georgia, Bama, and Penn State. But they told me I couldn't. Bama
They can't do it twice?
Yeah, they say Bama 2s is a part of Bama 1s.
You can't give them a bye in the semi?
Yeah, so I got Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Clemson. Wisconsin, I know people are like, well, what about Wisconsin? You hadn't beat anybody in the top 25. TCU, you got wins over Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Okay, let's see how it plays out. But I think Clemson losing on the road, and then Oklahoma losing at home to Iowa State, Skip.
Don't remind me.
And Ohio State. So the Big Ten will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Because Michigan and Penn State and Ohio State and Wisconsin, all that'll take care of itself. What's going to be interesting is how they treat the SEC, because it looks like Georgia and Alabama's on a collision course in Atlanta for the SEC title. Do a 0-loss team, one of those teams that have no losses, and a 1-loss SEC team still go to the playoffs?
Great
Because
question.
that's what's gonna be very, very interesting when this thing is all said
I
and
mean,
done.
if Bama beats Georgia in the SEC
Right.
championship,
If they were both undefeated.
If they're both
yeah.
undefeated,
they
and
will
so-
both go.
You think you?
I think they'll both go.
I mean, it's an interesting scenario,
Yes.
right? I mean, let's just pose it this way. Imagine Clemson's a 1-loss ACC champ.
Right.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Ohio State is a 1-loss Big Ten champ.
Right.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Oklahoma State or Oklahoma is a 1-loss Big 12 champ.
Right.
You got USC or Washington as a 1-loss Pac-12 champ, and Georgia sitting there. It's like, who are the other three outside of Bama?
What you got is
It's an incredible
you need an
question.
8-team playoff.
Well, easy now. I'll bring
So-
those arguments to you in November.
Yes. So I went you actually 2 better because I wrote down for my 4, Bama, 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 Bama. Because I don't see anybody beating Alabama, unless, of course, Ain't Nick gives up like 50 in the championship game.
Oh, stop.
Well, I don't know. He seems to every year. I don't know how he does it. But I'm with Joel on this. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State. And listen, I'm a Big 12 fan by birth. Used to be the Big 8. And I watch a whole lot of Big 12 football. So do you.
Yeah.
It's a really good league this year. It's
Yeah.
even better and deeper than I thought it was going to be. And Gary Patterson is a really good college football coach. And once again, he's got a team that will smack you in the mouth. And they went up to Stillwater, Oklahoma, when I thought Oklahoma State was something. And we're talking about Mason Rudolph as a Heisman dark horse. And they did a number on those guys at that place. And that's when I said, wow, TCU's pretty good. And then they beat West Virginia, and then they won at Kansas State, which is no cakewalk for anybody. And TCU is legit.
Vanderbilt beat Kansas State,
Well, that was impressive.
and then Alabama put.
They were ranked, Kansas State was ranked 18th. when
And
they
then
beat 'em.
Alabama hung 700 yards and 59 points on them.
Well, they do that to everybody. I told you.
So,
that. Georgia hung 50-something on Vanderbilt, at Vanderbilt.
Georgia is very
They're
good.
good.
That's-
They're
I think
explosive.
that's the biggest surprise in college football right now, maybe outside of TCU. But Georgia, the fact that Kirby Smart in his second year has got that program as essentially, you know how, like, remember back to high school, Shannon, where like the older brother was a senior and everyone's like, man, he's going to, wherever, Ohio State, or he's going to.
Don't ask him. He knows exactly.
Right? I mean, I grew up in a house like that as well. My older brother was a great athlete. And then the sophomore kid, it's like the younger brother, and everyone starts being like, hey, he might even be better than the older kid. That's kind of the way I view Georgia right now. Quietly, Kirby Smart has gone in there. He's put together a Bama blueprint. They play great defense. They take care of their quarterback, a true freshman, Jake Fromm, who's playing really well. He's 6th in the nation passer rating.
And that's the thing that I think can cause Alabama's problems, because he can throw the ball. Now, Mel Tucker is going to get a job somewhere in college football, the D coordinator at Georgia.
He's a great coach.
He's a Nick Saban. He comes from that lineage. And that's the thing that concerns me, because if you think you're going to line up in an I-back or a split-back set and beat Nick Saban by running the football, that's not going to happen. If you beat him, your quarterback will have to throw the football. He will have to play well. And if you look at the games he's lost, to Johnny Manziel, to Cam Newton, to Trevor Knight, and all these guys, what did they do? Deshaun Watson, Cardale Jones.
Keep going. The list is long.
Yeah, Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly
That's the list.
But here's the thing. They threw the ball. If you think you're going to line up in the I-back formation and say, okay, tailback, go get us 200, ask Leonard Fournette.
Listen, all I know is I was out on Georgia the day they said no to Shannon Sharpe. That's when I said they said no. Am I right?
No, they said no to Shannon's grade. They wanted Shannon, but the grades had to come
They
with it.
should have just pulled a string and gotten you
No,
in.
that
It
was-
would have changed their legacy.
No, but here's the thing, though, Skip. That was the year Prop 48 went into effect, and it was Georgia that got everybody in trouble with those grades. So they were not taking no Shannon Sharpe. It worked out well. I mean, I went to state, had me a good old time.
But you would have changed life in the Southeastern Conference.
I mean, there's a lot of guys.
I
that
thought about
changed life.
transferring to Miami.
Did you?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And then my college coach said, well, son, we don't get players ready for other colleges. He said, if you good as you think you are, they'll find you.
And they did. Yeah. And they did.
In the 7th round.
They came and got you.
I don't know if you turned up enough for Miami anyway.
So, speaking of Miami, by the way, so Miami's undefeated.
Yes.
That's fool's gold. That's a house of cards. I'm sorry to tell you, but the way that they're winning, their schedule down the stretch, that's not going to last. Just as an example, Texas A&M was ranked as the 4th team in the first playoff poll last year, fell off the face of the earth. Similar things going to happen to Miami during the course of this year.
They play Clemson though, right?
I don't
they're
believe
opposite
they
sides.
play in the regular season, but they do play Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's probably going to win that game.
Beat
They
Miami?
have Syracuse.
They'll beat Miami.
Wow.
Watch out for Dino Babers.
Use back, baby. You didn't hear?
I don't know about all that.
The U's back when they're winning championships.
Yeah, they ain't get that caliber.
Just let them have a little excitement, all right? Turnover chain, they're getting the swag back.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.